Hi, this is Magical Mike. Chapter 4. A Big Moment. It was a cold winter and I was being driven to a birthday party by my mum. The birthday party was a 10-pin bowling centre. As I entered the door, the air was sort of cold like a swimming pool. The party was a soccer party. I wasn't much of a fan of soccer at the time, but I went anyway. I saw Ollie and I wished him happy birthday and I gave him my present. Then I said goodbye to my mum, and then only after she left the party commenced. The rules are easy, said my friend's parents. Kick the ball and aim for the goal. Shin pads might be needed, but of course at the time I didn't bring shin pads. Even if I used to play hockey and had shin pads at home. My dad's friend blew the whistle and the game started. The ball's possession was decided with a game of paper, scissors and rock. The other team won the game, so they got the possession of the ball, and by the time 30 minutes had passed, the score was 6-2 to us, and the defense on the other team was crumbling like a cookie. But they had one member in the team which was at least 2 times as tall as me, like Goliath, like a huge massive wall. The boy's name was Dominic. Even though he was 8 years old, you'd probably think he was 13. He was that huge. He was like an unstoppable monster truck. Whenever he got hold of the ball, we would struggle to defend, as I did being on defense. To give you more of a description, Dominic was like a space ship shooting down all the alien ships in the 1980s game Space Invaders. So, yeah, definitely a very frightful opponent for somebody who, I'm not a very large person. I saw him running through the pitch almost like a rugby player, tackling and passing like a giant. I noticed I was the only defense left apart from the goalie, so I sprinted across the field to defend as hard as I could. I tried to tackle him, but he swung at me with his foot like he was going to hit through me. And instead of hitting the ball, his leg hit me like 2 lightsabers clashing, and I knew something was wrong. Either the lightsaber had snapped or was not there. At first I thought I was dreaming, but to my dismay I wasn't. The force of his leg clashing against mine had indeed injured my leg. I did not feel anything until I stood up. That was actually probably because of the adrenaline, and tried to walk again, but the pain was unimaginable. It was like getting slowly ripped apart, with the pain increasing each time. Eventually my friend's parents stopped the game, and they came along and to figure out what was wrong. My parents were called and they asked me to pick me up, and my leg coming home, it still hurt. My mum thought it was only a sprain, but as the pain increased, she decided to take me to the hospital. At the hospital, the doctors went through a few number of tests and came to a conclusion that I had broken my leg. By that time I had got home, it was 5:30 in the morning. And unfortunately, it was broken for 7 weeks. And for 7 weeks, I couldn't move at all. It was terrible. It was horrible. And so after that, I had to do a lot of rehabilitation, stretching routines, making sure that my leg could be stronger. It was my right leg that was broken. So I had to make sure that my right leg was as strong as my left. And yeah, that was quite difficult, to be really honest. It was quite difficult. But, even when I went to Australia, I still remember the days when I actually could not walk at all. So what we had to do, since I was still, strengthening my legs, I had to actually sit in a pram. Yeah. I had to sit in a pram and be pushed around by my dad. And as embarrassing that might be for some people, that's just how I was at that point. I couldn't move. I worried a lot of people, and that's just not that's just who I am as a person. And I think that experience really yeah, it changed my life. A lot of my friends, I realized they were really good because they gave me Uno, or whenever we went on a trip, one of my friends, Tom, he actually helped us out, and um, he gave me like a one of those old like DVD kind of things you could slot in movies and you could watch it on like a small screen. So that was, yeah, it was really cool. I miss those times. So many people interested. They were like, "Oh man, I so want to try out your crutches or something," or yeah. So that was pretty cool. Definitely not something that I want everybody to experience, but um, yeah, definitely a painful memory. Yes, thank you for listening, and hope you like and subscribe. Either way, it doesn't really matter. And yeah, I'll just keep telling these stories to people who want it and need it. That's it. Thank you.